And we welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. And we got to start, right? First of all, if our dear friend, the Horace is tuning in from Pittsburgh, we're going to do it. I told him I was going to do something today. I'm actually going to hold off till Thursday. Few reasons for it, but it's basically paying off my fantasy football obligation as the loser of our league. So we're going to do that on Thursday. I'm getting booed out of my own show right out of the gate. We're still working, if you're in the local area, still working to get the radio station back up and running. It has been a cacophony of technical issues. And every time we get one solved, another pops up. We have a couple of folks that are working on it today. We will be, we've been assured that we will definitely be good to go next week, and that we could be good to go as early as tomorrow. So we'll just see. Hopefully Thursday's show will be on.
You came in last place.
Local radio, sports radio.
Is it a shame?
98.7. Yes. Pirates open up the second half of the season.
Hold on, let's go back to
you
came in last place in your fantasy league. I can't even know I'm a partner with you.
Pirates open up the second half of the season by taking two of three from the team on the other side of the state. The Philadelphia Phillies.
They pitched the Steens guy and the Teller and McKellar. I mean, they pitched their best players. I mean, they played their best guys.
Yeah, that's true. Wait a second. No, Teller didn't. Yeah, it was a good start. Of course, Keller got another good start last night. Pirates pull out the win over the Cardinals, so they won 3 of 4 coming out of the All-Star break here, and have Steens going to the mound tonight. So, a chance here to really build some momentum for the beloved Buccos, who are very much in the thick of the wild card race in the National League. It was fun to watch. The match watched parts of the games with me. It was not all in, but it's like, hey, what's this happen? And we did watch the better part of the first game. And he did ask us, depending what part of the ballpark they were showing, he's like, wait a second, I thought this was in Pittsburgh. I'm like, well, it is. And he's like, well, why are there all those Phillies fans? I'm like, well, they're having a really good season. It's a nice ballpark and not that long of a trip. And so we go through the
cheaper for them to go to Pittsburgh and get a ticket and a hotel room and a ticket. It's but I gotta say, it was get your stuff done. Not even like
no, it was
awesome.
Yeah, it was
a classic late 70s.
Yes, that's exactly what it puts you in mind.
And it made me so mad that they didn't wear the yellow, and then the Phillies should have worn the baby blues. It should have. Tiki Coley should have been out there.
Although I like the black. I gotta tell you,
I don't like the City Connect, but I will say the City Connect. Pirates had the PGH Jones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I like them the best of anybody. I don't know why, because I guess it's just the plain Jane, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they tried to do too much with it. But I do like the blacks. I like the hats. Pirate. They call them.
Yeah, I like those. Yeah, it was a fun series, certainly from Pittsburgh's perspective.
So why don't we just drop the Braves out of the NL East and pick up Pittsburgh Pirates the way it used to be?
Well, so to that, we do have a couple of interesting discussions just about the way the college football world is unfolding. And one of the things that could happen in the fairly near future is this conference realignment that we've been talking about comes full circle and you end up back. And I think that's just a matter of time myself. I think eventually. So here is the question. I know we were looking at Narduzzi and
Laughing.
Pitt's wanting to play Penn State. And for some reason, Penn State won't put us on the schedule. Here is what I think could happen, and maybe we can kick this around a little bit, but part of it obviously will be depend on how everything ultimately shakes out, whether the ACC and the Big Ten join together, and the SEC and the Big 12, or whatever version of that there is, or whether everybody just says, all right, everybody just merges, we're one big league, and here are the divisions, and this is the way it pans out. But you go all the way back to when Joe Paterno was talking about forming an Eastern Conference.
Oh, imagine that.
What may end up happening, and what I kind of think will happen now, exactly what teams will still be playing, quote unquote, big time college football, and exactly how this will shake out remains to be seen. But I think you're going to have like Penn State, Rutgers, Maryland, probably, I think quite possibly Pitt, West Virginia, if I didn't mention them already. Like, I think you're going to have a lot of those long ago traditional Eastern rivals.
Syracuse?
Temple? Yeah, if Syracuse. So, yeah, I don't think Temple or UConn
over there to make the cut.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I understand what you're saying.
But Syracuse will be an interesting one. Like Syracuse, Boston College will be another one. Do they? I don't know. I could see that going either way right now with where those programs are at, with where those universities are at. But it just would be funny, and in some ways it'll feel like justice coming around if that is what ends up happening. Again, no guarantee.
Justice is leaving Pitt out.
Well, that would be
justice, and then even Syracuse. Throwing Syracuse basketball in there and say, you know what, your football team's not up to snuff with the rest of our basketball and other sports.
Yeah.
Give me the old Jimmy Bay. No, I'm all for it, but it's just a question of, it's easy to sit there and talk about football. I don't think it's about football. It's about the conference identities. Or is that just football just going to break away and just do their own thing, and we'll have that conference and then play Syracuse and 0 other sports? You know what I mean? Is it just going to be a football thing, which is entirely I think may happen, but you're not going to have conferences in it. I don't think we're going to leave the Big
Ten. Whatever form the Big Ten takes. I mean, if the Big Ten wants to keep its name, and the SEC wants to keep its name, I suspect that they'll be able to do it. Yeah, but that value is that's not going to be there once you get to that. The value is just in
I think the SEC and Big Ten will want everybody to know there.
Yeah, that could very well be. And I don't think it's going to happen.
We made this. We survived. We did this.
Yeah, but
it just means more, Joe.
But I do think you'll have the whatever other non-revenue sports are still in existence. I think that you're going to get back to that same thing where it's, okay, we're going to play the more local regional schedule. And then it will set up so that the playoffs are where you get the big intersectional matchups and you get to go visit.
Oh, you don't want to go that route of playing another conference, 4 teams out of another conference type of thing. You just want to keep playing the same 12 throughout. Honestly,
I think either of those scenarios could obviously play. I mean,
we're all the ilk that you and I are both of the same ilk that there's going to be 30 to 50 teams that are going to just get out of that. Like your
that is my guess right now. It does because, well, several things. One is, again, while there is going to be a great benefit for those who make it to the collegiate level, fewer people are going to have that opportunity to cash in.
They're
And
not going to have more teams because it's just they have enough money right now.
no, there's
they can
not.
pick and choose who they want. They're not going to add more teams to lessen the pot.
Well, and I don't
They're
even
gonna
think,
get rid of that.
yeah, it's just going to be competitive. I don't even think it's so much that as it is that you're going to have administrations just making the decision. Listen, we can't compete. We can't realistically compete at the degree we need to
At the
financially.
football level, right?
Correct. Well,
Oh, you mean
across the board
okay.
with college athletics.
So, I mean, like, do you think
football
that
is
MAC
what
teams would even
provides
get an invite?
along with basketball for college athletics. What's that?
Do you think any MAC teams would get the invite to the big towers? No. Well, I mean, like, you're going to lose a team like Cincinnati, SMU, those teams that are on that like fringe of being Division I, power.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Again, so what? I mean, we are together in the thinking that if football does need to go rebrand itself and do this conference thing, do you go with an 80-team division or a 100-team? I mean, you figure it's 133 teams in college.
I don't think you're going to have 100 teams.
You think
100 programs are going to be able or willing to commit the way they would need to.
Now, what are they going to? I mean, this is. I'll play stupid here. What are they? What are the athletic have to be committed?
If you're going to be competitive in football, you're going to have to, well, at least initially, $22 million a year just in payment to the student athletes.
But it's not a problem for any Big Ten team.
That's no, not for
Okay.
Big Ten.
Okay.
Well, not at the moment for anything.
Continue.
Talk to me in 5 years. Let's see how this is shaking out.
I mean, it's just. I just don't understand. It's like we're cashing the highest checks in the history of what our schools and conferences ever cashed. Yes, we have to come out with $22 million more dollars. That's a game. It's a game weekend. I don't know why everybody's so afraid and scared that the TV rights are going to go up if there's better football, better competition, I think.
Well, so there are a few things. You're presuming the $22 million is going to hold steady.
No.
And that isn't even. That's what the schools have agreed to.
Yeah.
Student athletes haven't agreed to. There has not been any.
That's a Thursday show in itself because I've always said who is speaking for the players.
Well,
I want to know that answer.
So that is. Again, there's so many moving parts. But so that $22 million. The players may come in and say, no, it's going to be $50 million.
And I will come at you. And I think the first contract, $22 million, will be more than acceptable because $22 million more than they've got. So that's an easy one. I believe going forward, when the agents get involved and the lawyers get involved and say, wait a minute. These kids are doing all the work and they're getting $22 million, but you're collecting $200. Yeah. Then I think that's when it's going to become an issue.
And you're still listen. How this money gets divvied up among the other sports, basketball's role in it, like all of these things still come into play. Penn State just made a $700 million commitment to its stadium, and
hold on. There's pool and the soccer, is that part of the $700 million, or is that $700 million just for the football stadium?
That's for the football.
That's for the football stadium.
A lot of that
stadium alone.
Yeah,
Nothing to do with the soccer stadium that's going to go in the upgrades there, or anything, right?
Correct.
Okay.
No, this is a Beaver stadium. So that's $700 million.
You know my opinion on that.
So yeah, there's soccer that is getting
I believe they
upgraded.
started that already.
And, yep, and that obviously has been a long time coming.
And needed. And
Yep.
it's embarrassing the Big Ten can't hold a championship at in-state conference.
Yep. So
the pool is not working.
So all of these facilities, salaries, coaching salaries, David Taylor's salary, they're not going down, kiddos. Yeah, there's more money coming in, but there's a lot of money that is going out as well. Go ahead.
As a football player, football coach, I'm going to see, in my opinion, that you're going to need to hire a brand new person. Hey, I'm a James guy. He gets $9 million a year. But we are now at the point where it's a general manager position. And it's no longer he's a head football coach. But I don't know if you may have listened to it. Me and Bucci talk. We're to the point now where college footballs are going to need general managers. Because you can't ask James Franklin to coach, recruit, contract, do all this and do all that. Now, this is where the problem starts. I played for a man who he was involved with everything.
Yep.
And I think the last thing Joe Paterno would want to do is start worrying about what he has to pay each player and having to go be the general manager, do contracts. Like Dana Bucci talked about, Bill O'Brien, in the interview he talked about being at Texas, said he absolutely hated being the player's coach. He could be their friend, which is what he is. Ask anybody who played for Bill O'Brien, they absolutely love him. But when it comes down to it, and he's the general manager, Bill O'Brien has to be a tool. He's got to say, hey, I got to play hardball with you now, Jeff. And that's not what these football coaches are about, specifically collegiate football coaches. So I personally think that their salary should go down because they're yes, James is a great recruiter. That's his shtick. But are we recruiting anymore? Are we recruiting, or are we just going out and getting players that fit the mold and fit into what they want to do? You know what I mean? It's a dumb thing, and I think it just goes on the list of recruiting. Goes on to a whole list of this again. I want to talk to these coaches. I'd love to, but I don't think they would want to talk about it. But when does money come into play with during the recruiting process? Is there somebody out there who lets coaches know hey, $3 million to get this kid, which I throw up every time I think about hearing these conversations. But I know that's where it is, but that's okay, you're not even invited into the door if you're not going to come on the table with $3 million. So you're no longer recruiting this kid, you're buying him. You know what I mean? Now, we need to get closer to the point where we start having general managers. I think Oklahoma was the one that Chris had said last week they had to hire the guy to do this type of thing.
So they've already loosened up on the number of assistants.
To what?
Obviously, there's obviously been a lot of consultants, and that is not going to go down. That's not going to go down. So the support staff personnel, and I don't think you're going to get college coaches to say, take this off our plate.
I agree. I don't see anybody going there and saying, I'm going to take a $4 million cut because you're going to pay a general manager.
But I think you're just going to add to the staff. We're seeing it with other non-football programs now, getting NIL people involved with their Penn State wrestling.
It has to.
Right. And so, but my point is, so there is a lot of, no question, there's a ton of money coming in, but there's also a lot of money going out, and to compete at the highest levels. And again, maybe we'll get into your definition of compete, but to compete at the highest levels, you're going to have all of this stuff provided. I don't know if long term, and when I say long, I'm talking 5 years. That's long term. Does Indiana football and Indiana athletics, can it sustain the way this is going to go? And maybe they can. Maybe the answer is, look at the money coming in because there's going to be streaming options now too, along with the networks. I don't know. I know there's a ton of money involved, both coming in and going out. I don't know how it's all going to shake out. I don't think anybody does definitively know right now.
Well, that's the example I would give. There's an Indiana, a place like Kansas, who just hangs on in football, but they also make money.
Yes.
When you're a Patsy, you get destroyed on a regular basis.
Well, but my question is, are you going to be able to make money?
I'm with you.
5 years from now, with the way everything escalates, and maybe the answer is, well, yeah, look at
They make their money from the Big Ten Conference and the Big Ten Network.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the other network deals.
Do you think that's going to go away or lessen?
It's going to change for sure. You're going to have a lot more streaming and likely less television. That may result in more money. But again, how these salaries of the players escalate, to what degree they escalate, the amount of support staff, how that escalates, and with the payment going out there. And again, the facilities, listen, across the board, you start looking at the money. Again, Penn State is putting $700 million into renovating, not building a new stadium, but just $700 million to renovate. And
I know we're opposites of the spectrum on that.
with fewer seats to these stadiums, you're taking away opportunities for fans to watch the games at Beaver Stadium as a result. I've talked with two people now who are like, the untold story there is the ADA situation and getting that stadium compliant,
Yes.
and in particular the parking.
Once they moved one bolt in that stadium, they had to become ADA. It involves the parking and the
Yes,
everything.
parking is going to be a big component to that. And so I don't know what the final numbers end up as, but again, that's $700 million going just into a renovation of a stadium, not the routine maintenance, not the workers
Over
that
30 years,
work
right?
there, not any of that. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Do you think that improvement is going to hold up for 30 years?
I'm saying, 2.5 plus the interest a year. They had a country concert 2 months ago. Guarantee that made it to 2.5.
Yeah, and in 10 years, 15 years, they're going to be, oh my God, we've got to upgrade. We've fallen way behind, and you're still going to be owing. You're right. They're going to have 15 years that they're still owing on this project. And who knows what this,
The way our economy's going, Jeff, it'll be free by then. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
It'll be absolutely fit.
Yeah. So, again,
There's
just a
so
lot of
much, again, like we say, I would not want to be in Pat Graff's position.
It's a lot to
It's
try to.
unbelievable because we have literally just touched on about 6 subjects in the 20 minutes we've been on the air that we could talk about in 6 different shows.
Well, and that doesn't, yeah. And
It doesn't mean we haven't included the players. We haven't even said a word about the team getting money, what they're deserving, how they're going to delve the money up, how is football versus softball. You know what I mean? Like, how are they going to do all that? It's mind-numbing, actually. I mean, and then if we involve the 4-letter people, the NCAA, to make these decisions, just go complete opposite of what they say to do. They have not made a right decision in how many decades?
well, and the other, so another component to it is, how reliant are you? There's no question the TV deals are driving this way. How reliant are you on the gate for those right now 7 home games moving forward? Because listen, Penn State, when it's winning, it sells Beaver Stadium out. You get a couple of subpar seasons, and all of a sudden it's like, you still get 90,000. That's great. Well, that's not 107,000. And for, again, some of these programs, Northwesterns.
You're not talking about a game. You're talking about season tickets. That's what you need to talk about. Yeah. If they almost 4 in a row next year, they're not going to come to that Thanksgiving game. There might be 55,000. That's not going to hurt the tickets. They've already bought them. It's the year after when they say, I'm not buying season tickets.
And listen, the other part, and again, we're not talking just Penn State. I'm talking across the board is, all right, parking, that used to be whatever it was, $5 or $10. Now it's, in some cases, 6-fold, 7-fold what it was just, 5-6 years ago. Well, my contention is all of these things that there's a matrix involved, and it's like, okay, yep, I'll pay it because, man, I want to go see big time Penn State football. Well, Penn State goes 500. Yeah, you know what? I can save all that money and watch it on TV. I don't know. I don't know how reliant, you look at the local economy and the impact that Penn State football has on it. That was why the death threat that was basically invoked by the NCAA, the threat of the death penalty being enacted here, wouldn't have just been devastating for Penn State or the Penn State football program. It would have been devastating for the entire community. Well, same thing. You take 7,000 seats away, and then you have a couple of subpar seasons. All of a sudden, how much do you have to lower to get? Where are those breaking points in that? And listen, I don't know moving forward. We've talked about this, good, but and this is, I think, we're getting further down the road than 5 years, but. We're presuming right now that football remains king, and I suspect it will, but we don't know that. I mean, even
here or in general?
In general. Okay. You don't know that. The concussion issues, the number of kids that are playing, I think the money involved is going to ensure that, yep, they still have a lot of people that are willing to pursue it. But listen, there are more entertainment and sporting entertainment options now than ever before. And again, the NFL and college football has done a masterful job to this point of navigating the waters to remain on top. But could there be a point where it's like, okay, yeah, this is just ridiculous. This is obscene. I'd much rather watch pick your sport. And
it's going to be the choice between NFL and NCAA. And so, you know what? NCAA will never go head to head with the NFL. They will not do it. They are touching the NFL.
Well, at least try.
They'll eat them alive. And that's the thing. If people are going to sit there and say, "Well, I'm done. I can't watch college football. It's so expensive and this and that," they'll watch NFL. That's where they can take a real bad beat. So the parking, by the way, is $20 to be a ticket per game. Paid in advance, $40 cash. Yeah, that's excessive. It's very excessive.
Yeah, but I think that's going on.
I'm sure
that's not going to be going down.
Oh, I do my season tickets and all my tickets and all that stuff, and my parking passes, and it's just like,
yeah. So all of that stuff.
Donate to this, donate to this, donate to this, and then you got to pay for parking passes.
Yep,
it's a lot.
It's a whole lot. And and again, even with the corporate sponsorships and everything else, as you just don't know with certainty how all of this stuff is going to develop and how everything is ultimately going to shake out. And again, the streaming services may make it so that these games that are, we've already seen it with the NFL. Thursday night games are not accessible to everybody.
A playoff game wasn't accessible.
Well, yeah. And so, again, those models work, but do they work long term? I don't know. The answer may very well be absolutely.
Jeez.
But you've got
You're right. There might be a Thursday or Friday night package for the NCAA to maximize, because you can't just sit there and say, if you want to watch the Penn State game, you got to pay for this network. Because who else is going to watch Penn State other than Penn State people?
Same with all of these programs, right? Like, unless you're getting the.
Well, it was good for us because we have a great fan base. When they got a team like Indiana, if they're going to rely on stream money, they're done.
Yeah.
And then if you want to watch Oregon, well, I guess they're in a Big Ten now, so it doesn't matter. But if you want to go watch a Jeez. Okay, Colorado. So you want to watch Colorado? You have to stream their network down? People don't do it.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We
So many questions.
are packed with more on our Tuesday edition of this the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. We are coming to you from Quaker Steak Lube, our favorite place to be in the Steak Hall.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are hitting the field all summer long. Enjoy fun, affordable family entertainment as the future of baseball is on display in Happy Valley. Spikes games have something for everyone at the new-look Medler Field at LeBron Park. From great giveaways to fantastic deals, from special appearances to plenty of fireworks, all the way through September 3rd. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or get the schedule and buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome you back in here on this Tuesday afternoon in the Valley of Happiness. And, football season is hurtling ever closer.
You see the Penn State 39 days go football. Career highlights. Ferguson's not home.
That,
Wow, Lord. Crap.
yeah.
He was a try.
So Ohio State obviously projected to be the conference champions.
Oh,
Yep. Oregon second, Penn State third, and Michigan fourth in the preseason expectations, which would have Penn State just missing on the conference championship.
which is good.
Which, I think would be okay.
10-2, I think we're in the playoffs. I think that's it. I was laughing. I was having lunch here before you got here.
Yeah.
And that's it. The media has selected that Dan Lemon, the Oregon head coach, will be the Big Ten Coach of the Year. And I just laugh. I'm like, the guy has not played one play in the Big Ten. I know media job it's never really a thankless job, I guess you'd say, but to project, it just seems odd. Do you find that odd? I guess they're going to elect somebody, right? But I don't know. They're saying that they're projecting him to be Big Ten Coach of the Year. I'm just laughing. He hasn't even played a day in the Big Ten. I had one practice in the Big Ten. Now, more one game, but because it would be Big Ten.
Yeah, although
there's a guy, Ryan Day. I mean, they're calling it one of the best teams ever set up, and he wanted to be Coach of the Year because it's like, oh well, he had all these stories, and it was
yeah, and that is one of those challenges. Again, to me, is if Ryan Day wins it all, it's going to be, well, yeah,
that's why.
of course they have all of the best players.
And that would be the worst thing that could happen.
And if they don't, right, then it's coaching is where you look. So I get that he's paid handsomely and the whole bit, and that there's not a coach out there that wouldn't take that roster. But as we've talked about, I think managing that many egos, I think it's hard to manage that at the professional, right? Like what Pat Riley and what he was able to do, and like that's difficult. But so you're managing all of those egos, but you're also managing the hormones, the mental state of mind, all of the things that go into being an 18 to 23-year-old man, right? Like that is a lot to manage.
Good point.
And egos are certainly part of it, but you've talked about playing for the school versus playing for money. I think that can enter it.
Oh, you make a good point right now.
But there's also just the regular.
There's a lot more to go to
of 18 to 20.
You're doing so much more as a college coach than you do as an NFL coach. The NFL is just going to sit there and say, "This is your job. Do your job."
Well,
but in college, you have so much more. You think the NFL coach is worried about your investment in a car wash? Coach, car wash is going to bankrupt this.
Well, so this is the other thing. Like, this is going to be, there are going to be fascinating stories. So let me put it this way. I think there will be 10 years from now, some fascinating stories coming out, and they're going to go both ways, is my strong suspicion, of how the initial run here of athletes who are receiving the NIL deals and getting big money. Like, you're going to have people who come from very poor backgrounds and are going to be tremendous success stories. Like, they're going to go out, use this money, invest it, make purchases that businesses, and like there'll be generational change. Undoubtedly, you're going to have some people come out and it's like, woohoo, look at this. And 5 years down the road, right? And I mean, you see it all the time in all walks of life. It's like people don't know what to do once they get that money. I think, Penn State, and I think a lot of schools are cognizant of that and are trying to avoid that latter story from being told often. But I mean, it's just inevitable, right? You're going to have some stories of guys that are going to go through $1 million, $2 million, and are going to be destitute in 5 years. And in some cases, in really bad shape. If they have addiction issues, already, well, this isn't going to do anything but exacerbate those. If you have, other, and I'm telling you, the other thing that I think is still kind of going under the radar right now. This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it is a matter of time until we have another giant betting scandal involving at least a team or some athletes in college athletics.
I was at home this past weekend having family parties and this and that, and then Sunday fun day with my brother, his buddies, my buddies, all of us, and we're just sitting there. And I was like trying to tell them what a college campus is like that. And they're like, oh, what bars, what bars are crazy right now? I'm like, I have no idea about that. I know bar owners, bar managers and stuff like that. Is there still this night? I was like, dude, you want to know what they do? They don't have no like course like Bud Light nights anymore. They have fantasy, they have fanatics, they have player, all the Bet Roma, all these different websites that go in. And like, you're not getting beer anymore at a happy hour for a bar. They're giving away $25 free bets, and it's like you would be absolutely amazed at how much. And then my brother's 20-year-old son was like, "Oh my god, that's all that goes on anymore." It just rules and runs everything. Watch television.
I didn't even
watch commercials on TV. Watch a sporting event.
Yeah.
Everything in the background. Everything. It's illegal for these players to even be involved in it or take money from these people. But like you and I going to a bar back in the day and say, oh, wow, what's this beer? I'll try this Pacifica. Let me try this beer. Oh, that's pretty good. Now it's, hey, try this website. I'll give you $25 free bet. If you lose, we'll give it to you anyway. So then all of a sudden they have your email list and they're going to email you during the day. Hey, there's 50 free spins here.
Well, and, as we saw with that Iowa State case, right, like the amount, so presumably players are going to be, for the most part, pretty savvy about that. It's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to. But, hey, I have this newfound money, and it's cool that I'm getting, whatever it is, $20,000 a month. But, man, I could parlay that into, so, hey, buddy. Buddy who's in the class with me, you get to be next to the big-time football star here. Hey, can you put this I'm telling you, it just feels to me like, and I know they are obviously very aware of the potential for this, and I know they're watching it closely and doing what they can.
It's not the standard betting that you and I think of. It's not betting the over-under or betting the line.
Well,
it is how many catches is Jeff Byers going to have.
But so the other thing that I think is going to have to change with college athletics, and it has already to some degree, but like the NFL puts out the injury reports. Yeah, teams get in trouble when it's like, hey, this guy's listed as doubtful, probable doesn't play, or doubtful does play. Like they're watching that stuff. And Penn State's certainly not alone, but very secretive when it comes to, we don't have to discuss. Well, that's great, except that, hey, Johnny, here's 1,000, here's 100,000. What's really up? Is Aller playing Saturday or not? Some practices. It's not looking good. Here's your money. Thanks, man. Like, so you're gonna have to.
I have stories
have
like this. It's
sort
so funny,
man. Of injury report. Yeah, I'm not saying any of this is necessarily new.
Well, it's nothing. But everybody does it.
Yes, and more widespread. And I think the more than ever, there are going to be those opportunities for athletes to make a misstep. It's just like the, Len Byers, if you believe that this, like, no matter how many times you tell somebody, hey, don't do this, right? And they're good people and good, like, man, if you get, hey, here's 5,000, 10,000, here's 20,000. All right, one time, $20,000. I'll tell you whether or not the quarterback is.
What did Ted DiBiase say?
So
every man has his price.
Yeah, it's just, and again, it can be a one time. And listen, it can even be, hey, let's go out for beers. How many beers have you had? Oh, you're on 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, now here's 10,000. Tell me, right? Like, I mean.
Your girlfriend needs this, and or I can get you and your girl A's in this class type of thing. Okay, let's go back to Michael Jordan and the what was it, the 10-part thing on ESPN. I forget what that was called. It was awesome.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance. And he was talking about the pizza. Remember that? And he said he ordered pizza at like 3 a.m. one night before a playoff game. No one else had any of it. And he got completely sick because he knew that somebody had tainted his food for him not to play the next day. That's on Michael Jordan. Imagine what would happen in the college campus when you're living on a college campus. You get somebody, just something as stupid as that. But I'm just saying, like when I was in college, we didn't talk about it because I wasn't around it. My father wasn't into it, this and that. But there was definitely guys I knew outside that were students and this and that. But on the whole, you really didn't get into the gambling thing. You were sort of out of college, I guess you would say. For me, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a little. Maybe we were a little sheltered with the old man and all that because we were so afraid of it. And guys didn't. It was like that little secret they talked about. Everybody did it, I guess, but it's just so out in the open. I mean, I'm telling you, we can watch these 3 televisions for the next 10 minutes, and I guarantee you, we'd see something come across within the next 5 minutes on each of these TVs that involves gambling, whether it's a line, whether it's an advertisement.
Yeah.
The kids just come. You scared the heck out of me. I was like, what is that? But it's just so out there in the open. And it's part of the game anymore. It was like, it never was part of the game. Never really was. And like I said about the parlays and stuff like that, is that I believe it was Iowa that the state that came out and said, okay, we have to get rid of these. And that is the individual like bet that I would not have under or over 83.5 yards. Okay, that's enticing for one single person to do it because they can handle that. Or if it's a line or an over-under, you can manipulate that, I guess. But if it's, you know what I mean? I mean, you can bet against yourself. I mean, just think about this. Somebody could put $1 million on you, or say whatever the max is or whatever. And I'm in the third quarter say, you know what, I got 4 catches. My over-under is 5.5. Wow. I think I just twisted my ankle. I can't play, coach. And that guy's going to catch that money and take care of you. And it's very, very easily done anymore. I guess that was the big thing back in the day was getting players to do something like that because the players didn't understand the whole thing when we were 18 to 22 years old. I'm going to let you know that 18 to 20-year-olds are being completely inundated with this stuff all over campus, all the time, every day, 24 hours a freaking day. And you are right. There's going to be an issue, another huge issue coming up. It happens. I mean, how many times can you tell an NFL guy, hey, you can't gamble when you're in the building? You can't do it. Okay, and then there's guys who get suspended for 8 to 10 games because they're betting while in the building. I mean, wow.
Yeah,
and you're going to give 18 to 22-year-old kids, $500 to $1 million, $500,000 to $1 million type of thing. And you're going to expect everything to go amazingly. Everything's going to be on the up and up. I just don't.
And it's one of those things, too, where, like, it is pretty easy for me, who never had, never will have, never could have those opportunities to sit there and, my gosh, just say no. Why would you do that? And listen, nobody ever comes to me and says, hey, give me the inside info on when the radio station's going to be up and running. I got $100,000.
I got $20 in my pocket right now. I'd love to answer that.
Yeah, I would too. Right, so the point is, it is really easy to resist temptation. I'm completely in love with my wife, and I would not stray from her. But I also have zero opportunities. Like no young hot woman is coming out and saying, "Hey,
nobody's throwing it at you."
Let's right." So people are very critical of like athlete superstars or musicians. It's like, oh, I can't believe they would cheat. Well, if you're being propositioned, I mean, yeah, I'd love to sit here and tell you, yeah, there's no way. I mean, my reality is such that I can tell you definitively I'm not cheating on my wife. But my reality isn't there's 10 different people throwing themselves at me every day saying, please. Well, I mean, if that happened, yeah, I'd love to sit here and tell you absolutely not. But is there a chance that over 365 days or times 10 years that there's a day where it's or all right, I like or so these athletes. My point is you're being inundated. As you said, I mean, it is all around you, and I can say no, man. My coach told me, yeah, but do you realize? I mean, eventually somebody may just. Again, you may be a little inebriated, but somebody may show you the numbers and say, oh, I got this one time, right? Like, I mean, we have a bunch of kids in this country that I think are raised the right way, good parents and all that. Don't do drugs. But if you get in that environment and people are consistently, all right, yeah, it looks like you guys are having fun. Let me try it just this one time, right? Yeah, like so. I mean, I'm going to sit here and tell you, yeah, these guys shouldn't do it. That's fine. Everybody's telling them they shouldn't do it. They also have the temptation that is there day after day. I'm just telling you, it is really easy to resist temptation when it's not really
a possibility.
Yes, evident for you.
I can add on to this, Jeff. What if you read it wrong and you think that you have an opportunity?
Well, this is
you act
another
upon it, and then all of a sudden you're known as a dirtbag, scumbag. Wow, you get cussed. And I was like, whoa! I read this all wrong. But you didn't have the opportunity before, and then all of a sudden you think that you.
Yeah.
And it's just easy for someone to say, "Well, he did that to me." And that's another thing. You're going to have a lot of guys who have a lot of. You're going to get a kid up here in central Pennsylvania, just say he has $200,000. That is more than 98% of the people make in this town, in this county. They're not just going to sit in nitty apartments and sleep there. They're going to buy places. There's going to be people who are going in and out of there. There's going to people who are going to be hanging on to them who shouldn't be hanging on to them. Friends from home, buddies from college, this and that. Something happened. Guess whose place it is? Guess who's in trouble? If they weren't even involved, it was still your house. There was something went down with a couple guys and a girl. It was, there were some drugs at the party. Oh, the drugs were at this house. Well, whose house is it? Oh, well, that's so-and-so's house. Guess who's in trouble? It's just endless, the pitfalls these guys have. And, we sit there and say these kids are so different nowadays. I truly believe, because I was at home this weekend. I was around my brother and his wife and their 20-year-old son and their 16-year-old daughter, and I'm listening to them, and I think that they've done a great job at raising these children because they are young adults. They know they drink and they do stuff and they do have fun times and this and that, just like we used to. But they have to understand when you go, you take care of yourself and this and that. And now you're going to throw the gambling aspect into it now. And now these kids and then maybe their parents have zero idea about what gambling and ramifications that could happen. There are a lot of bad ramifications when it comes to gambling. Bad. Now, the only thing that's somewhat on the up and up is it's online. You have to have the money to put on to bet. You just can't make a bet with a bookie. That's when you get into trouble because you don't have the money to pay the bookie. You have to put the money up front when you're online gambling. Is what it is. But it's a whole new series of pitfalls. Again, they yelled at us constantly in college about the gambling thing, and then I wouldn't even know. And I swear to God, I look back on it. I had people call me and say, "Hey, so and so hurt." What does he care about that? Now I look back on it, like, damn, holy crap! I didn't even realize. Now, if I know, would I have been tempted to say, "Hey, we're playing Temple this week"? Yeah. We're going to win by 40. What's to say if we win by 35? Like, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? Is there any other thing that could possibly? And then you really got to start thinking about this. And you have opened a lot of cans of worms today. It must be Tuesday. You literally opened up a lot of cans, buddy. Well, there's a lot out there to think about when it comes to this. A lot. That is a lot. And then these kids are not getting any kind of information from home because I don't think, if I wasn't involved with it and you weren't involved with it growing up, how are you supposed to try and teach your kids right from wrong in that aspect? If you don't even understand it. And so you're not supposed to bet period, right? If you're a college athlete. So
the other component to this, and I'm okay with that.
Hold on,
but
is that right? Is that they're not allowed to at all?
I believe that is correct, because then you run into and this is the thing. So I can justify, right? If I'm, and this is, I think this is going to be interesting to see how this evolves, or if it evolves. So I could make the that what does it matter if I, as a college wrestler, bet on a Major League Baseball? Like, that's not affecting the integrity of that game. It's money. It's my money. What do you care what I do with that? So there are a couple of things that could potentially come into play. One is, do you have, because of the way we are now professionalizing college sports, right? Even if it's not your sport, the networking is such that maybe the baseball player that went to Penn State, worked his way up through the minors, and is now with the Dodgers, is, hey, our starting pitcher tonight, you want to make a quick 5,000 or whatever, our starting pitcher, he's not going to be able to go. Like, the layers of this that you can get to in these hypotheticals, unless there's obviously real life situations that play out this way. It's just, it is a whole lot to try to keep track of and try to monitor. And we still have all of the things that have always been, always in our lifetime have been part of the, from the drug use, recreational drug use, performance enhancing drug use. So, I mean, all of those things are still in play and more enhanced. And now there's people that, you read some of the stuff that what they can do to your blood to rejuvenate. And it's borderline whether some of this stuff is legal and okay, but it's all, hey, I'm trying to get that leg up. I'm trying to get a little bit more oxygen level in my system. Well, how far can you go with that? What is okay? What's not? I'm just, it is mine trying to keep up with all of the All right. Oh, well, we apologize. Well, technical issue there. Not sure if any of our audio was coming through. Not even sure what all we said. So apologies.
So where were we, Jeff? So we had you and I in a 40-yard dash. First one to rip a hamstring. That's the line we're going to set here with the game stuff. So yeah, that's good. So go back to what we're talking about, and that is the fact that that's the individual parlays, not parlays, but individual performance stats and bets.
Yeah.
That's the weird ones that can be manipulated by individuals, in my opinion. I mean, you have lines and you have over-unders.
Yeah.
Yes, they are easily there. They can manipulate them, but not as easily as one individual can manipulate on themselves.
Yeah.
Again, I go back to like Jeff, calling you from home. I know you since we were kids. I know you got some money. Do you think you stay under 11 catches, under 4.5? Like it's just you'll do stuff. It's crazy that you'll try to help your friends out. I mean, it's just human nature, bro. Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll take a
Let's talk some more money after
break here. Actually, I want to talk some Olympics when we come back as we continue. It is our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see ya in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are hitting the field all summer long. Enjoy fun, affordable family entertainment as the future of baseball is on display in Happy Valley. Spike teams have something for everyone at the new look Medler Field at LeBron Park. From great giveaways to fantastic deals, from special appearances to plenty of fireworks, all the way through September 3rd. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or get the schedule and buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back on a Tuesday afternoon. The Olympic Games getting underway this weekend, Friday, with the opening ceremonies. And I don't know, I was listening to the national discussion on Fox Sports the other evening, I think it was, and they were not bemoaning, but kind of they were admitting, I think they did it like on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitement level for the Olympics? And listen, I'm very excited for the wrestling.
Sure.
So there's a personal stake, but I will tell you. So this is the thing for me. It's not something that I necessarily like. Like college football season, we're counting down.
Sure.
Steelers season, I'm counting down. I can hardly wait. I don't necessarily like the Olympics just kind of pop up to me every 4 years.
Pageantry that you love.
And in this case, it's every 3 years now, this time around. So I do wonder if that is a contributing factor or not. But the fact that, hey, we just did this 3 years ago, this is supposed to be every 4 years. I don't know if that, it does feel like there is less hype going into it than usual to me, just gauging, friends' interest. Now, again, for me, it's not one of those things where, and I love the Olympics, I really do, and I get into it when they're here. And I'll be curious to see. So, of course, I now have a 9-year-old and all of the activities to go with it. I don't have a game plan aside from the wrestling. I'm going to be locked in on the wrestling. But aside from that, I don't really have a game plan on, all right, I've got to see that. I think I'll end up watching a good chunk of it. But I could be wrong about that. So I'm curious to see how much it does suck me in. And then for me, and again, I'm just speaking for me, and the basketball, when I was a kid, it was a huge deal. Now, mind you, when I was 7 years old, the 76 games, phenomenal. 80 and 84, you had the boycotts, and so as a kid, it was still a big deal, but you knew that it was kind of missing something. But every year that the Olympics occur, again, to this point, I get sucked in. I love the stories. There's different sports that I watch. Basketball, when starting with the dream team on, it just is. And again, speaking just for me, I'm not telling anybody else what they should or shouldn't do or what you should be passionate about. It does not interest me the way it did when I was a kid. It was like, oh man, this is, and I bought into the whole, and I understand it as far as it goes, that it was amateurs versus professionals, but you felt like you were watching the underdogs when you watched the U.S. There is no sense that you're watching the underdogs on either the men's or the women's side when it comes to Olympics basketball. So for me, the sports where it feels like there's a more even playing field, and by the way, I understand before, I get it. The basketball has caught up around the world. Fine as far as it goes. Yeah. The NBA just has not held interest for me since Jordan retired. And so that is also part of it, is it's like all these NBA stars that I just don't do anything for me. And if I want to watch them, I'll watch them during the NBA season. I don't need to watch them during the Olympic Games. What to me, and again, speaking just for me, but what I like about it is, do I watch track and field? No. Will I watch track and field at the Olympics? You bet. Gymnastics,
same way.
Gymnastics. I mean, I'll go to some Penn State meets, but I'm not following this. I don't follow the World Championships year in and year out. I'll see if Penn Staters are doing well and that sort of thing. And right down the line, kind of the same thing. A lot of these sports, Penn State. I'll check out the sports here, and I'll follow Penn Staters to some degree. It's, oh, that's cool. They did that. They did this. But I'm not following, swimming at the World Championships annually. But the Olympics, I'm in. I want to follow the storylines. And there's always, there are just a ton of great human interest stories that always come out of the Olympic Games. So
that's what gets me, though.
I am curious to see how the ratings are across the board. I'm genuinely curious to see whether I get sucked in the way I normally do, or just with our schedule and with the, like, if it's just, I'll get the updates, check on the medal count and be done with it. And I really don't know. The other thing for me is, now the Pirates are drawing my interest, and I'm watching their games kind of wholesale, not just on in the background. Like, I'm sitting down and all right, I'm zeroed in here.
Welcome back, buddy.
Yeah. So when I can, and like tonight, I won't be.
Well, we're going to say what the first week. What do you'll know in the first week, because the second week you are locked in the rest.
Yes, I mean
that's going to take your whole day, your whole mental and this and that.
Yeah.
So you talked about how with the human interest stories that come out of this and that.
Yeah.
So you got track. I won't throw wrestling in there, in my opinion, because I am close to it now and I have a better understanding. But I have watched.
But I mean, I think there are a lot.
I would historically watch. But you watch track and field. It's once every 4 years. They're perfect. They make. You know what I mean? They are it's something. And swimming is the same way. And what I don't like about the Summer Olympics is that these people know that they only have that 1 year window, that 4th year window. So they got to go out and make that go. And they're great stories about it, but I think that too many people are looking for those great stories to capitalize and cash in. Basketball thing has lost its luster to me, because it's just, to me, it's just an all-star team and an all-star game out there. And when they play against a better team, they get humiliated, and it's just like, we should not be getting humiliated out there with the amount of talent that is out there. It's just insane. But the wrestling thing, I have always been involved. I loved it, but I mean, take wrestling out of it, Headley. Tell me right now, are you a winter fan or a summer fan?
This is going to be a cop-out, but I honestly like both, and I like them for different reasons.
Yes, I got you. Well, I love the fact that somebody did say, I got to say this on Instagram and Twitter, like, what they should do is just have a normal human being go out and try to do what these people are doing out there, just to show how hard it is.
Yeah.
Because they make it look so freaking easy. Like, put somebody on the rings and see how long they last.
Yeah.
And then sit there and say, well, look at these guys doing this for a minute. Or, the pommel horse or something like that. It's just insane. Or just go swim.
Yeah.
5,000 meters. No big deal. Go out, go try to do it. Go swim 2 laps. See what happens. To put it in perspective, that's what I'm saying. Is I love seeing all that. But that's the thing. It is these people, these athletes are just absolutely freaking amazing. And what they do, and it's always exciting to me, and enthralling to me. And I love, obviously, an American, a proud American. I always want America to win. I'm actually happy that other countries have caught up in basketball, because it's like, hopefully someday that'll wake our country up to say, hey, let's get these guys playing younger at younger ages, not on these super AAU teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other thing for me is, when I was a kid, like, I kind of would soak it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm much more selective, in part because, again, my opinion, they have allowed way too many sports that don't belong in the Olympics.
That's a Thursday show I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, because and it's not that every time we go this route, I'll get people that will write in, or when we had college shows, call it, you don't understand, how difficult. I'm not saying it's not difficult. I'm not saying, like, synchronized swimming it's amazing what they're able to do. Again, my opinion, it's not an Olympic sport.
Just like football.
Yes. I believe we can start going down the long, and it is a long list. Yes. What some of these people do in some of these sports is incredible. It really is. And I can appreciate it for what it is and what they do. But to me, there is a level of athleticism and competitiveness and tradition that should be involved. And it's just like, and I get why they do it, and I'm not, And
You're
they're probably right, but like the X Games sports, like what they do is amazing, and I don't get it. I mean, it's not my generation. It's not aimed at me. I understand all of that. I also like have your X Games, like do that and appreciate it, but don't make it part of the Olympics. Again, to me, the Olympic sports should be the Olympic sports, and maybe you add and take away
Or you thought
some,
about that? Just put the Olympics.
but yeah, and and even like the whole a lot of it for me, and it's subjective because I realize there are tennis players out there. It's like, no, I'd much rather win Olympic gold than the majors, but I think most tennis players. Like what you're aiming for. Same thing with golf. You're aiming for the majors, and it's the same thing with the NBA players. It's like the Olympics are really cool, and yep, you want to play for your country, but you're getting paid to go win an NBA title, like trying to pursue that. I don't know. It's speaking just for me. It just. So I'm much more selective. That when I was a kid, it was like, well, everything. I was into everything because everything to me. And listen, that's when I came along. So maybe there are people that are, grew up in the 50s. And it's like, well, no, man, you guys. I don't know. I don't know how much things change. It's just, it has changed so drastically.
I have one for you.
And I just can't. Some of it. Again, I appreciate the athleticism, the skill set. I'm not saying that they should be applauded. It just, my opinion, it just should not be an Olympic sport. You should have your whatever championships for those sports and be very proud of it and promote it. And there's going to be sectors of the population that will tune in for it, but not Olympics.
What is the national sport?
That's coming now. I feel like these days, they're putting more of that stuff, the stuff that I don't want to see in the primetime slots. And so it's like,
I got two.
I want to watch the Olympics, but
I'm on the soapbox twice in a row. Real quick now. One of them is, what's the National Sport Academy? Okay. Do you think the NBA would stop their season for 3 weeks to allow our – now, the only reason the NBA would allow that because they are being overrun with European players and foreign players that might say, hey, I'm going to go play for my country. It is important to them. It's important to the NBA guys to win NBA titles and the NBA owners. Like, I just don't see the NBA saying, hey, let's take a month off during mid-season.
Right.
You guys go play the Olympics, or I'm sorry, a tenth of you go play the Olympics and then come back here in a month and we'll start back up. It would not happen in the NBA. No way, no how, absolutely no way. None. And the NHL, because they know how much it means to some countries, it does. It does mean a lot to them. The next soapbox thing is I've talked to, and you know who they are, or multiple high school football coaches that I know who have recently retired, i.e. my brother, two of my best friends in this world, another guy. One of them said to me, this flag football thing and 7-on-7 is that this generation of kids growing up, they think that is football. And I said, you're crazy. You're no. And then I think about it, and I'm like, oh, my God. They don't have to deal with the heat and the hitting and getting hurt and this and that, and they can go out there. They can dress the way they want to dress. They can do their different little things, and they can celebrate and be on, get famous for being celebrating touchdowns, stuff like that. And you don't have to deal with what football is. And that is an unbelievably grueling 12-month-a-year sport. And this is a guy who told me, and I was like, oh, my God. I kept on thinking about it. And he's like, they don't need linemen. You know, when they go to these camps back in the football camps during the days nowadays, it's the fat linemen just sit down in the corner and they graze out there like cows. And they don't play the game. They don't play. But then, like, the skill guys, they think that 7-on-7 and what they're promoting here, how in the hell is flag football an Olympic sport? Have you seen the Olympic trials for the flag football teams? Is there a flag football league where they're picking and choosing the greatest players that they're going to say, let's get these together? Who makes these teams? and this is an Olympic sport, right? They tried to get rid of your sport, which was the world's oldest and first sport. What do you think was the first?
Yeah.
Or do you think running was?
Well,
You know what I mean? You go. I'm with you. They could go either way on it.
Yeah.
But they were trying to get rid of wrestling. Trying to get rid of wrestling.
and they have reduced it.
It's
And,
unbelievable.
like, the whole 6.
It's not about the competition anymore. It is about the almighty dollar. It's been like that for a long time. I think everybody's realizing this. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know that they're actually. There's no question that is what is at the heart of what's driving this. I don't know that they're right. That even monetarily, this is reaping the benefits that they think it is.
Yeah.
But maybe it is.
How many Olympic cities have just been distracted afterwards and go completely bankrupt because of what they had to do to get the Olympics there? And maybe it isn't the money. Maybe it's athlete money, I guess.
No, well, I think it's at least what they believe is going to bring the greatest viewership. So I don't know.
I will not watch 1 second of basketball.
I doubt I will. I mean, I'll probably watch.
I would watch two European teams play it before the American team.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up watching a little bit here or there, but not. It's not something I'll be locked in.
It doesn't mean the same. I just. You watch a Lithuanian team. It means so much to those guys, and our guys. It's just a 3-week period where so and so. It's part of my contract. I get an $800,000 bonus. I don't think it means anything to those guys, and maybe it does. Maybe I have the wrong read on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, these guys, track, swimming, wrestling, they don't have professional leagues.
Well, to
making
that
this huge money.
So the other thing that bothers me, and it shouldn't bother me, I don't know why I care one way or the other, but I do. And that is, and it is not. It is not that I'm anti-LeBron James. I mean, I'm not a big fan, but I don't like him being the flag bearer. In large part because he already is getting his accolades. To go to what I was saying earlier, like to me, the Olympic game, like Katie Ledecky is somebody who has a chance here to do something that win more medals in women's Olympic swimming than any female athlete in the history of the sport. And like LeBron is famous. If he goes out and completely lays an egg in the Olympic Games,
he's still top 5 basketball.
I understand it'll matter to him. Yes. I'm not saying like from his perspective that this doesn't matter. It's not important. I'm saying his legacy is cemented. He can go out and go scoreless, and people will say, yeah, boy, that was a bad couple of games, bummer, and then move on. Like this does not define his legacy in any way, shape, or form. I don't believe.
I'm with you.
And his fame is already established, and it is not Olympic related. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't think anybody's looking at LeBron James and say, man, unless he wins Olympic gold this year, I can't really put him as one of the top 5 greatest. Nor do I think if he doesn't win Olympic gold or if he goes out and has a couple of bad games in the U.S., takes bronze, do I think anybody's going to say, man, can you believe how much his legacy is tarnished now? I just don't think it impacts it. There are so many athletes that are like, on that Olympic team, that this is what they are defined by nationally. I'm not saying that their lives, hopefully they have a greater purpose than the Olympics. But I mean, from their professional or athletic career standpoint, like this is what is defining. This is why we know a Katie Ledecky.
The reason I know Katie Ledecky, or you know Katie Ledecky.
Right. It's not because of the World Championships. Same thing. Like Simone Biles would be amazing. To me, picking one of those athletes, and again, I'm just speaking for me. In the overall scheme of things, do I think it is a great, huge deal either way or gross injustice? No. I think it'd be cool to allow one of those athletes that opportunity, because I think it would mean the world to them. I'm not saying it doesn't mean a lot to LeBron. I'm not saying he's not honored. It doesn't take that. But if he was passed over for it, like, he's not going to sit there and stew about it. I'm not saying these athletes are stewing. I don't know. I'm just speaking for me. I think it would have been better to take one of those athletes who has defined their career by being.
And in my opinion, I think NBC told the U.S. Olympic team, like, hey, if we get more viewers because LeBron's carrying the flag, then let's go LeBron.
Yeah.
And that just drives me absolutely crazy to think that it would come down to something like that. Well, you're right. Simone Biles, and now I have to say this about Simone Biles. With what happened in the last Olympics, I think the less that is put upon her with her mental health, I guess you would call it, where she had that little breakdown, you could see that. I mean, so much was expected of her that they don't need her to be carrying the flag. She may have done it before, for all I know. But the LeBron thing, it's just, they're just trying to push this down our throat like everything else. And I just don't want him to turn it into, I just pray with what's going on in our country in the last couple of weeks here. If this turns into a political thing where there's guys holding banners or holding, this or that, or wearing pins or trying to show support to people, it's just going to just completely destroy it. And it's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
What a world, dude. That should be the name of our show. What a world.
Take a break and be back with more of that show in near.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are hitting the field all summer long. Enjoy fun, affordable family entertainment as the future of baseball is on display in Happy Valley. Spike teams have something for everyone at the new-look Medler Field at Leblano Park. From great giveaways to fantastic deals, from special appearances to plenty of fireworks, all the way through September 3rd. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or get the schedule and buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back for one final segment on this Tuesday afternoon. And again, football season. It I feel like we say this every summer, but it
Going
is
fast.
amazing.
You did look
How
at
fast?
the when
Like
we were
this
correcting you, like,
week
it's
is
July
July
23rd.
1 week left in July. And then, I mean, August always just goes by like that. You're back into school, you're back into football season, and all of the good things that come with the fall season. But boy, it does go by fast. And looking forward, though, to the
Are you
upcoming
going
stretch.
to
both with-
WVU?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably.
Was there an opportunity for you?
Um,
We got funny down there.
Yeah.
With the wrestling stuff.
yeah, there's we have some family things going on that I think are going to be pretty clear.
That is like
Wouldn't mind going down. Yeah, it's Labor Day weekend. It's well, so I wouldn't mind going down. I'm still not rolling it out, but I think it is unlikely.
Gotcha. No, I heard that they're not doing single game tickets for Penn State fans or anything like that. But I guess they have completely sold the place out. I'm just interested. Are they going to go through with the coal miner tribute with the uniforms? I mean, it's a noon game. They are black helmet, black jersey, black pants, black socks, and shoes. I mean, that is going on a old. I don't know if they've updated their turf. I think everybody has to do turf, but on a turf game where it just projects heat. I mean, those dudes are going to melt, man. That's going to be hot as hell for West Virginia guys. Craziness.
Yeah, it's a good day to be wearing white.
I wonder if their fans are going to have a blackout and be like, no, we're going to pass on this one. Let's just go with a blue or yellow type of thing. But, I mean, I love the historical rivals. You know that. I mean, me and you have that. We are in the same boat that way. And I know we were talking earlier in the show with the possibility of that possibly coming into fruition. But there's a team right there. That is a fringe team. Are they part of the 80 to 100 teams that get invited? I mean, it's like, yeah, they have a little history, not a great history.
Yeah.
Their history is, I mean, look where they've been. They play in the Big freaking 12, and they don't play East anymore, so they really don't have any rivals in the East anymore. And then, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think they're on the outside looking in. Now you got a team like Virginia Tech. Somebody told me they're on that like, and I'm like, oh, hey man, I think the Tech is since the mid '90s. I think that they've really picked up. But I mean, somebody told me some of the different numbers. I was like, damn, you're right. They don't really have that super history. And
and I don't know. So to me, it's even less about the history.
Yeah.
Yes, and more about the resources that you are able and or want to commit to athletics and forging ahead in this new world. Those are actually, but I could see it going either way with both of them. I mean, West Virginia football is such a big part of the identity of that state.
Sure.
I mean, it really is.
Yep. I'm going to say this. I lived in Richmond, Virginia for 5 years. UVA is the name, but I think that the majority of the people in Virginia are Virginia Tech fans. But I don't think they have the kind of money that UVA has to just say, okay, we're in.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech parallels Penn State in so many freaking ways. One, because of the universities are similar, just like a lot of kids go to Virginia Tech and then do grad school with Penn State, and Penn State then
the towns are remarkable.
It's amazing.
You
drive down there, you're in the mountains, all of a sudden it's like, I feel like I'm in State College right now.
Blacksburg and State College,
Agreed. But if it was a money thing, I think that the Tech fans would come together and galvanize to keep because they love it.
Yeah.
Whereas UVA would just have 10 people say, yeah, we're in, and then they could cover the whole nut because there is that much money at UVA type of thing. But I think that Tech is I think the Tech would be in, and then like you just said about West Virginia being in. Like if Tech doesn't play football, the town of Blacksburg goes away. It's just like the state college. If they had given us the depth,
it is. Yeah, I think to some degree at least you're right.
yeah. I mean, I got to go to. I would love to go down the list of the 133. That's my homework, dude. That's my homework. Phillies got a 1 o'clock game tomorrow. I'll watch the Phillies, and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to give you my.
You know, I hadn't even really thought about this, but I'm just now, and I'm not sure I'm on the right track here or not. But actually, I think, as I initially think about it, that the Northeast may have more schools that you're like, oh. Let me just throw. So West Virginia, Virginia Tech, I agree would both be in that boat. I think, Temple is likely gone, but I think Rutgers, Syracuse, Boston College,
UConn,
all would be, UConn, all would be. I could see going kind of either way, saying, "Yep, let's make the commitment, let's do this," or "No, this isn't really our cup of tea, our speed." I think Maryland would go in. But I don't think that's necessarily a given either because of the basketball prowess there. And, I guess the question would be, is the financial benefit of staying in and not being,
not being competitive. No,
not being competitive.
Yeah.
Like not being competitive in that they're going to be competing for national titles, right? Like that seems extremely unlikely. And honestly, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I know Matt Narduzzi would go nuts, but I got to tell you, Goon, when you look at the small,
they do nothing.
Like there's a history there for sure, and it's a great.
They'll tell you all about it.
But they're in a pro sports town, and they get overwhelmed by that, and it's a smaller. I don't know that when push comes to shove, that university is going to say, "Yep, we got to do whatever we got to do."
The Steelers weren't there. Pitt football wouldn't exist in my opinion if the Steelers weren't there.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Pitt just saying, "Yeah, this is."
I don't think they would ever do that, but I think that they might not. They might not be. Got an offer.
No, I can see that they're doing it because they're an academically. I could see them saying, "Yeah, the finances don't make sense here for us."
That is one thing, by the way. Bob Tech is going to have a hell of a team this year, and their schedule. Chris Booch will say that. He has got me online, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, dude, that's 10 wins. That's 9 or 10 wins, and if it's not, they're in trouble. So, but Pitt is Pitt. I don't think that they live on their past, and their past is claiming national titles that 14 other teams claim, and it's just like, what is it, 76? And I love the rivalry from back in the day and this and that, but it's like it's nothing. Again, you go back to they compete with the Steelers, but if the Steelers weren't there, they would not have a practice facility. They would not have a stadium to rent.
Yeah,
where would they play? They don't have the ability to maintain their own freaking stadium nor build a new stadium. It's sad because the amount of talent that is in that city and that's surrounding that city. But I'm sorry, man, it's tough. It's tough to go. It's tough to go there.
There's going to be a lot of all universities that are going to have to make some difficult.
I leaned on Booch a ton today, and that is what I'm going to say is West Virginia is still using tuition money to fund their athletics. Do you think that they're going to be okay with that? It's saying, hey,
this is the other, like West Virginia has gone through the university, has had a very tough couple of years where they have shut down some colleges within the university, which is why, again, it's such a big part of the identity. Like, I could make a pretty strong argument either way for, man, this is why they have to keep that football program, or this is why they have to get rid of it. They've got to focus.
I'm with you on a million percent.
I mean, I think you can make like a really strong, compelling case either way. I don't know. I don't know how this money is going to be divvied up, just in general, as we move forward. And as we keep talking about, like, what are the athletes that collectively, what are the student athletes going to demand? And to what degree are universities going to be willing to acquiesce? And how much are the student athletes going to be willing to say, all right, we see the long-term benefits here of taking a little less so that there's more opportunities? I don't know. I mean, I just don't have any kind of a sense for how that, I don't have any sense for how any of it's going to really develop. But in particular, the student athletes and what they're going to fight for, and what, you know, percentage of the pie they think that they should get, and are, you know, football players going to be okay with X amount going to the other sports? Basketball, same thing. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot they got to sort, and I do think some of these universities are going to have really difficult conversations and ultimately decisions that will have to be made. Again, maybe not in the next year or two, but probably over the course of the next 5 to 10 years. I really think we're going to see that total number shrink. Now, by how much, that I don't know.
That's some of the bigger schools that we're talking about. Like, I'll go into, like, I mean, we'll talk about, you know, this Northwestern Indiana. I mean, Illinois is going to stay. They have, again, they're like Pitt with a history.
Yeah,
but they own their own stadium. They're on campus, and, you know, Pitt is just. Yeah. And again, I go back to, I just still can't believe my dudes went there and they, oh, Penn State won't play us. Like, dude, there's no point in playing you.
I would love to see it, but it just does not make sense from Penn State's stand.
If he wants to go 1 for 1, that's fine. Penn State should go 2 for 1. They go 1 for 1. They got a home and a home. That's fine. That's fine. But then what Pitt goes and does, the same thing Temple used to do, and that is, if you want to see the Penn State game, you got to buy 4 other tickets. I mean, no,
it's a huge.
If that's what you want to do, you want Penn State to fill your stadium and sell your season tickets, then you got to go 2 for 1. If that's what you're going to do, they won't agree to it. They think that they're equal. How in what freaking world are we equal? And then what is the benefit to Penn State of winning that game? Nothing. It's just like beating Akron, as James Franklin said. Beating Akron, it's just another game. It's their Super Bowl, but it's just another game to us. Yeah. And I agree. Now, if they want to go 2 for 1, 2 at home against Penn State, and then 1 at Pitt, that's fine. And you can go sell your tickets for that season. That's cool. But they would never go for that. They think that they're level with us and 1 for 1. It's just, I mean, it's just, all day I've been thinking about him saying that again. And I'm like, what is he getting out of that? Nothing. Other than
he's
trying to wow your fans up.
That's exactly talking to the base.
It's embarrassing. Your program, because it's like, okay, this team doesn't want to play us. Why? Why don't they want to play you? Let's talk about this.
All right.
And by the way, USA is playing Germany women's basketball from a distance with all the hair. Yeah. I thought it was a men's game. The way a lot of the guys in the NBA and college guys have hair everywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do some homework tomorrow, Jeff. I'm cutting 30 to 50 Division I football programs. And you know my ultimate goal. Yeah. We talked about this, but you may not remember. Those 30 or 50 schools band together and have spring football. Yeah. And they can maximize their money. A network will pick them up. Will absolutely pick them up, because
that's probably
in a roundabout way, the degenerate gamblers want something to bet on.
No.
But if you can get more money playing in the spring, I wouldn't know why you're going to get slaughtered playing with the big boys. Yeah. Where you can and make no money trying to keep yourself alive, afloat.
Yeah.
Or you can play in the spring, another league, actually have some wins. Some of your players can graduate and move up in the head division.
All right. That is going to wrap things up for today. We will be back on Thursday. And folks, until then, be good and be safe.